Think about it. No revenge messages. No midnight calls. No passive-aggressive hints. Just silence. Cold, clean, unbreakable. Not out of weakness, but absolute control. What if your silence was the closure, the punishment, the message? Because when a man truly goes silent, people listen in ways words could never reach. She wasn't expecting it. She expected noise. She expected you to break down, to beg, to try to prove your worth. She expected the same old pattern, maybe even one she created herself. But this time, something broke. And it wasn't just your heart. It was the illusion that she could leave and still have access to you. That she could walk away and still hold a place in your life. She bet you would remain emotionally available while she explored other options. She bet you'd still be there, waiting when she got bored. But you disappeared, not with anger, not with hate, with peace. And that's what makes it brutal. The power of silence is not weakness. It is strategy. It is war. It is the move she never expects because it doesn't feed her ego, validate her power, or give her comfort. Most men, when heartbroken, panic. They text her. They bombard her with messages. They send long texts hoping to reconnect. They search for the perfect words to make her come back. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Every word you send after she's gone is proof she still has control. Every message is another thread that keeps you tied to someone who already let go. Silence is different. Silence comes when a man decides the show is over, that his energy is valuable, and he will not give it away to someone who treated him as an option. The moment you stop responding, power changes hands. You no longer react. You are no longer available. You stop reaching for someone who left, and that absence becomes loud. The silence in the mornings when she no longer sees your name. She hears it in the notifications that never come. She feels it when she posts something and doesn't see your like, your view, your validation. Your silence turns into a void, and that void forces her to sit in the space she asked for. This is where the Stoic man separates from the rest. He doesn't go silent to get attention. He goes silent because he no longer needs it. He is not playing games. He is preserving his peace. His silence is not emotional manipulation. It is self-respect. It is control. It does not feed cycles that cost his tranquility. He accepts what he cannot change and steps away from what he cannot control. That is not weakness. That is strength. And when she realizes you really left, no hints, no likes, no just wanted to know how you are, that's when she feels it for real, because she is used to noise, drama, emotional reaction. But this time, you gave her nothing. And nothing is the one thing she cannot manipulate, argue with, or forget. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. Pain hits harder when you try to control the uncontrollable. You cannot force anyone to love you. You cannot argue until someone understands your worth. And you definitely cannot make someone stay if they already have one foot out the door. The moment you try, you give away your power. You trade your peace for a fantasy. That's where most men get stuck, trying to fix something that was never theirs to fix. But the Stoic path teaches something different, something freeing. You only control two things: your actions and your mindset. Everything else, let go. When you stop trying to change her, you start changing yourself. You stop acting to earn her approval. You stop asking for explanations. And instead, you focus on your own code. A Stoic man does not beg. He does not chase. He accepts. Not because he doesn't feel, but because he refuses to be ruled by what he feels. If she walks away, it doesn't destabilize you. Because your identity does not depend on another person's presence. You control your mental framework. And when she notices that, when she realizes her leaving didn't break you, that's when regret starts creeping in. Look, breakups feel chaotic. Because you are trying to reverse the ending. You replay conversations. You reread messages. You wonder what you could have done differently. That is emotional slavery. Freedom comes when you say, "She left, and I'm still me." You stop asking why and start building what's next. That shift from reacting to acting with intention changes everything. That's when you begin to rise. You don't get stronger by trying to control others. You get stronger by mastering yourself. You become magnetic when you stop chasing and start choosing. The moment you accept what you cannot control, you become untouchable. Attraction through absence. There's a reason why disappearing works. And it's not a trick. It's human psychology. We desire what is scarce. We chase what walks away. And the moment you withdraw from her world, you become more valuable than any message you could have sent. When you were always available, always. Texting, always reacting, she knew you were there. Predictable. Easy. But when you leave, when your presence disappears completely, her mind starts racing. Where is he? Why didn't he text me? Has he moved on? And that's when attraction begins. Here's the cold truth. Most women don't regret losing the man who begged. They regret losing the man who made them feel safe, then disappeared with dignity. The man who felt, but wasn't ruled by his emotions. That is Stoicism, mixed with dark psychology. You don't give her the comfort of knowing you're still there, lurking in the shadows. You cut the supply. You disappear, not to hurt her, but to honor yourself. Because if someone can walk away without hesitation, they don't deserve a front row seat in your healing process. You become more attractive when you create distance. Not fake distance, real absence. Intentional absence. One that forces her to face the consequences of her decision. One that makes her question what she thought was guaranteed. What if she doesn't regret it? Perfect. You leveled up. What if she does? Even better. You're no longer waiting. Absence creates demand. And that demand is built with silence, discipline, and the strength to walk away. No need to send signals. Your presence is gone. And in a world full of desperate screams for attention, being scarce is power. Let her sit with her decisions. Stop rescuing people from the consequences of their own choices. She chose to leave, chose to walk away, stopped showing up, let you go. And whether she did it with drama or in silence, it was still a choice. Most men, feeling that stab, want to fix it, want to talk, find meaning, close the cycle. But that only softens the blow she should feel. If you intervene to relieve her guilt, you steal her regret. You make it easy. You offer an emotional safety net where there should be none. And she doesn't deserve that. Let her sit with it. Let her wonder why you never came back. Let her look at your profile and find only silence. Let her understand she's no longer the center of your world. Your attention was a privilege, and your love wasn't weakness. It was a rare gift. And now it's over. This is where Stoicism turns brutal. Not because you're cold, but because you accepted reality. You don't hate her. You don't want her to suffer. But you're no longer saving anyone from themselves. You won't soften the lesson just because you cared. She will feel it fully, because only then can she understand what she really lost. Want a woman to regret losing you? Don't send a long message. Don't try to explain everything you gave. Just leave. In silence, completely, and rebuild. Without her, that's when silence begins to scream. When she realizes, I didn't lose just anyone. I lost him. And when that hits her, you'll already be far away. Not out of resentment, but out of discipline, growth, and respect for the man you are becoming. Rebuild in silence. Grow in the shadows. The most powerful moves make no noise. True comebacks are not announced. They are forged in silence. In focus. In discipline. After a breakup, many men want to be seen, want to show they're better, post their glow up, prove they moved on. But that is still a reaction. You're still acting to catch her attention. A Stoic man doesn't post his progress. He becomes his progress. He doesn't need applause nor validation. His evolution is personal, private. When you rebuild in silence, you rise without noise. You stop explaining and start executing. You go to the gym, not to provoke jealousy, but to reclaim your body, your strength, your control. You grow mentally, financially, and spiritually. Not for revenge, but because staying broken is no longer an option. And this is what makes it powerful. She doesn't see it coming. While she waits for a version of you trapped in pain, you're leaving the whole situation behind. There's something brutally attractive about a man who disappears into his discipline. No hints. No, look what I became. Just silence. And one day, she runs into the new you. Not the one who cried for her. The one who doesn't even blink when he hears her name. The man who once begged, now walks with purpose. And that hurts more than anything you could have said. That's where dark psychology comes in. People chase what they no longer understand. And mystery breeds obsession. She starts wondering, when? Did you heal? Who did you become? What did she lose? But by then, you're no longer acting. You're living. Focused on your purpose. With no need to prove anything. Emotion is a tool, not a master. Pain is real, no doubt. But letting it control you, that's a choice. When she left, you felt it in your chest. It wasn't just heartbreak. It was betrayal. Confusion. Your ego crashing to the floor. Feeling discarded. Like you were worthless. And yes, the temptation is there. To scream, cry, break everything, drown in sadness. To let pain take the wheel. But here's the truth. A Stoic man knows emotions are signals, not orders. He feels them, of course, but doesn't give them the power to rule his life. That's where most get lost. They get drunk on emotion. Make decisions from the wound, not wisdom. But a disciplined man feels it fully, then channels it. He doesn't run from pain. He uses it. Every ounce of suffering becomes fuel. To train, to work, to focus, to build. He turns rejection into obsession with his goals. With his peace, with his purpose, he doesn't break. He sharpens. That's what Stoicism teaches. Emotional control isn't about being insensitive. It means emotional mastery. It's not about suppressing what you feel. It's about not becoming a slave to it. Dot. Yes, you still think about her sometimes. It's human. But you don't act on the thought. You observe it, you breathe, and keep moving forward. Every time you resist the urge to text her, every time you stay focused when memories come, you're winning. In silence, without pause, you don't let your emotions decide for you. You let your discipline speak. Dot. Because when you master your inner world, no one outside can shake you. Not responding is also a response. You don't owe her a response. Not a message. Not a last conversation. Not even a cold glance. When someone disrespects your presence, your silence becomes the consequence. Most people can handle an argument. They can tolerate closure. They can even endure screams, pleas, emotional breakdowns. But what they can't handle is the void. Facing nothing, there lies the power. She expects a reaction. She's used to it, to emotional back and forth, trauma, validation seeking, constant ego stroking. But when you say absolutely nothing, you break the pattern. You create a void she can't fill. You deny her what most men give without thinking, attention. And once you cut that, she's alone facing herself. No energy to absorb, no reaction to manipulate, no emotional gain. Not just silence. And it's not about being vengeful. It's about boundaries. You don't respond because there's nothing left to say. Respect is lost. The bond is dead. And you finally understood that peace sounds louder than any closure. You don't chase answers. You don't seek explanations. You move. You evolve. You become unreachable, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. Your attention becomes expensive. Your time, sacred. Let them wonder. Let them check unread messages, stories without views, calls you will never return, because silence is definitive. It doesn't seek clarity. It doesn't argue. It closes. In a way words never could. Rewrite the story. You weren't rejected. You were redirected. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking she left because you're not enough. That something is wrong with you. That if you had done more, loved more, been better, she would have stayed. But here's the truth. Her leaving is not the end of your worth. It's the beginning of your clarity. You didn't lose her. You lost the illusion that she was meant for you. And that is a victory. Stoicism is about perspective. You don't control what happens, but you do control how you see it. When you reframe pain, everything changes. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" you start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" There lies the power, because pain is not your enemy. Confusion is not your enemy. What ties you to a false story is, when you rewrite the narrative, you reclaim your power. She didn't break you. She revealed you, showed the cracks you had been ignoring, the weaknesses, the lack of boundaries, the need for external validation. She didn't destroy you. She gave you the chance to become indestructible. Now you can build. But this time, with stronger walls, clearer vision, and a heart that doesn't give itself away so easily. You are not a victim of her decision. You are the author of what comes next. You decide how this story is told. And in your story, heartbreak was only the prologue. Become the man you would respect. Stop chasing her. Start becoming the man who doesn't hesitate when someone leaves. The man who doesn't need validation to feel worthy. The man who walks into a room and doesn't need to say a word because his energy speaks for him. That is the man you build now. Not to get revenge, not to prove her wrong, but because you deserve to be that solid man. Ask yourself, if you met the man you're becoming, would you respect him? Would you trust him? Would you want to follow him into battle? Or would you see someone still licking his wounds? That's where the change happens. You stop measuring your worth by her reaction and start measuring it by your own standards. Discipline, integrity, power, calm. You build silently and rise with weight in your sin. Presence. She left cold, but you build a life so complete that her absence no longer echoes. You don't need to replace her. You replace the version of yourself that depended on her, because the man who knows his worth does not chase, does not argue, does not beg. He chooses. He commands respect without raising his voice. He doesn't need to be loud because his aura takes care of that. This new you is sharp, focused. He walks differently. And the irony is, by the time she realizes what she lost, the man she knew will no longer be there. He will be someone she can no longer access, someone she wouldn't even recognize. She will hear the echo of your absence. You didn't block her. You didn't insult her. You didn't make a scene. You simply disappeared. And that silence is louder than anything you could have said. Because now, every time she opens her phone, she notices what's not there. Your name, your presence, your energy. Every laugh she shares, every story she posts, a part of her wonders, why don't I see his reaction? Why doesn't he look for me? Why doesn't he miss me? That silence becomes an echo that follows her everywhere, to every place she goes. When a man truly frees himself, he leaves a mark, not because he hurts, but because he didn't need to. There was no explosion, no final plea, just calm, absence. A man who chose peace instead of noise. A man who didn't falter when she left. That kind of silence lasts. Shows her the void, the space she thought she could fill later. Now it's final. You owe her no performance. You owe her no closure. Your absence is the closure. And it hurts because now, when she hears your name, when she passes that place, when she hears that song, she's the one repeating it all. Not you. You already moved on. Silent, powerful, while she looks for proof you still care. You're too busy building a life that makes her memories irrelevant. That's what happens when a Stoic man lets go. Not with anger, but with discipline, with growth, and with respect for the man you're becoming. And there is something more unforgettable than passion. Peace. She will hear the echo of your silence long after her curiosity is gone. But by then, you will be far away. If you're tired of being an option, if you want to become unforgettable by disappearing completely, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My absence will be remembered. Remember this. Power lies in your silence, your control, your choice to be better every day. Don't let anyone or anything make you doubt your worth. Walk tall, head held high, because you are a man who knows what he wants and how to get it. This is your moment to be reborn stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever. If you're ready to transform your life and master your inner world, subscribe to Stoic Alchemist, turn on notifications, and join this brotherhood of men who choose discipline over drama. Share this message with those who need it, and comment below, I am Alchemist, to start this journey towards true power.